Hello, it is July 19, 6:56 a.m. So today I need to talk about a few things that are ongoing and going on right now. Before I get to anything though, there are certain things that I have to share with everyone, especially in the government. This is an ad that Kelly put up on my YouTube. It's Maison Perrier. Maison Perrier is basically a drink, I guess. July 19th, 6:17 a.m., a little while ago. It wasn't this exact commercial, but it was for Maison Perrier. And basically, what the commercial shows is a girl just starting off drinking a drink like she's really thirsty, and she's just chugging on that drink. It looks like it's water or something. She's just chugging on it, and the guy is saying Maison Perrier with the French accent. The reason is Kelly from Law Enforcement is obsessed with France in French language. That commercial basically means I'm really thirsty, as in really thirsty for you, me. Yeah, this is basically another money grab technique to try to run after me due to Kelly from Law Enforcement being a gold digger. I need this to stop. I'm not interested in her. I already told her I'm not interested in her. Yeah, and all their theories about me being playing hard to get or yeah, reverse psychology have all been proven to be BS. Okay, it's been proven to be BS, bullcrap, due to the fact that right now they're having the police call on them every other day. And if they really thought that reverse psychology or playing hard to get was something that was a viable option or something that someone would do, then they would have used it themselves right now, instead of having the police call on them literally every single day. So yeah, I'm not playing any of these tricks. I need Kelly from Law Enforcement to leave me alone. I'm not interested in her. I knew this was going to start. I knew this was going to happen. Even in the morning, she touched my penis. Yeah, I don't want this to start again. It's only starting because of a certain thing. Basically, the over analyzing of the June 24th, 2026 brain savant test, which I'm going to talk about, which is why I basically am doing this. But also, before we move on, this is also something that they put up on my TV home screen. It's for this morning, Sunday, July 19th, 6:13 a.m. It's the movie. It is Nowhere Special. Okay, it's basically a father dying from cancer, and so yeah, I need these sympathy things to stop. Okay, this sympathy mission has to stop. I know why he's doing this. Anyways, yeah, someone has to tell Kelly from Law Enforcement I'm not interested. Please stop. And these theories about me playing reverse psychology or hard to get have all been disproven. Since the people that made these theories about me in law enforcement, saying that I was using these theories like reverse psychology and playing hard to get, we all know exactly how much they believe in these theories of me being able to use them or them actually working. Since if there was a 1% chance that they believed in these theories, well, guess what? They wouldn't have the police being called on them every single day right now, or being threatened to have it. Okay, like Jeanette is having it called on him. Ibrahim, the greedy farmer spokesperson, is. All right, so basically what I wanted to talk about was in essence the June 24th, 2026 brain savant test, but mainly the circumstances surrounding it. So basically what has happened is law enforcement now has about one person that could speak for them is trying to say bad things about me. And even that one person has been proven to be a complete and total liar and fabricator. that one person is either going to be Maruk from my overseas pharmacy school or Adamji. What has happened, and I will tell you the entire story of it, is that law enforcement has been corrupt since day one. They've been running sex schemes with Uncle Joey's in-laws since 2001, due to which they had to provide sex schemes for Uncle Joey in November 2023 at the funeral. Money fraud that has been going on for years and years. And basically, law enforcement has the money fraud money goes to a person in law enforcement overseas. He is in law enforcement near my overseas pharmacy school. The same person that Farah the Greedy Framer accused from law enforcement of wanting to rape and murder her. Suddenly, she wakes up one day and she says that this person wants to rape and murder me, despite her sleeping with that person all throughout her life. So she sleeps with this guy every single day, and then one day she just wakes up, she's like, this guy wants to rape and murder me. Everyone can make their own theories about it, but obviously she found out that he was broke. He didn't have any money, and he was lying about everything. All the money he had was basically all stolen or defrauded. I mean, yeah, the courts are probably just going to be like, how does his son know that the money's going to him? And they'll check the records like, no one told me. Like, I didn't have to be a genius to solve this one. Money's definitely going to him. Let's just put it that way. Money's definitely going to him. Mainly because that's what these people do. That's what their friends do. Okay. So basically, what it is my overseas pharmacy school. They started off with, now, before I get into this, I have to first give a little background on how they came up with this idea of trying to use people from schools. So basically, when I was a 10-year-old child in elementary school, they grabbed someone from one of my classes. I started off in Padonia Elementary School. Right, I grew up in this neighborhood my entire life, since I was a 9-year-old child. I used to live in the building right behind here when I was 9, and right now I live here. I've never lived in any other neighborhood except for this one my entire life since I was a 9-year-old child. Yeah, so basically, I was started off in the 3rd grade when I was 9. The law enforcement, what they did was they grabbed someone from my elementary school when I was like a 10-year-old or 11-year-old child when 9/11 happened, and they got this person to go and testify in court in mid-January 2026, claiming that I said all kinds of bad things to him and anti-government things and this and that to try to frame me. The only problem with this is law enforcement got caught. They were fabricating everything. They told this person what to say. 10-year-old child, 25 years later, claims that I said anti-government things to him when I was a 10-year-old child. Literally something that the KKK would do in the pre-civil rights era against someone. And right now, it's beyond a reasonable doubt that these people are only doing everything due to my brain savant with the over-analyzing of June 24th, 2026 from just a couple of weeks ago, almost like a month ago, since today is July 19th. Yeah. So, so basically, it's basically what the KKK would do against people in the pre-civil rights era. They had a 10-year-old child claim 25 years later in mid-January 2026 that I said anti-government things to him and bad things to him when I was a 10-year-old child. Now, the thing about it is, obviously, law enforcement got caught. My dad, the Greedy Framer, when he was watching this testimony from this 10-year-old child, he was just like, perfect. This money is not going anywhere. His mother's not getting it either. The same man who's putting up Nowhere Special on the TV home screen to try to get sympathy right now. In mid-January 2026, he was saying, perfect. His brain savant's not getting freed. The money's not going to his mother either. He says perfect. He hangs up the phone. He's all jolly, happy, running around, roaming around like Christmas just occurred right now. Only for him, as soon as he finds out that that false testimony has been caught, he calls the court and he starts crying about how the false testimony got caught. Mainly because the man knows for a fact that he knows that the brain savant money is going to go to my mother, and he doesn't want my mother to have that money when he's not getting it, and he doesn't deserve a single penny of it. He doesn't deserve one red cent of it. Okay, and I'm going to talk about him in a separate video about what was going on in 2011. The government informant, doesn't matter what he said, we have to look at facts and evidences on what was actually happening and how the government was forced to basically go and tip him off before something major occurred, and they had to start an investigation on him. So the government informant who was there at that time, first of all, would only be there if there was something major going on. And the other thing is what the conversation between the government informant and my dad, the greedy framer, was on the last day before the circus was closed down. Basically, my dad was working like an imam of a mosque, calling people over to his house and giving them sermons each and every single day in 2011. And he was giving sermons on jihad and the killing of mass murder of innocent human beings. It basically alarmed the government. It got the government to basically get alarmed, find out about it. And what ended up happening was the government basically ended up sending in a government informant in there. The government informant's conversation with my dad, the greedy framer, on the last day, obviously I remember it really well. You cannot forget these kinds of things. Someone is giving sermons to people from his house every single day on mass murdering innocent human beings. How do you forget that? So the last day before the circus was closed down, basically my dad's little thing where he would give sermons every day to encourage people to mass murder innocent human beings, that very last day a government informant was sent in, and that government informant sent in the very last day, the conversation was that my dad, the greedy framer, was once again encouraging people to mass murder innocent human beings and saying that jihad must go on in the world. Government informant went and he sat next to him. Basically, the government informant wanted to stop him and tell him, don't do this because it's going to cause problems for you. The government informant tried to tell him, yeah, for one reason or another, so that they wouldn't have to start an investigation. And so the government informant basically went and he sat next to him on the sofa. And my dad, the greedy framer, is giving sermons, telling people in the masses that very last day of the circus, saying that jihad must go on and the mass murder of innocent human beings. The government informant interrupted him and said, look, Mr. Ansar, they have a really different misconception of jihad now. It's not like how it used to be, and they have basically changed the factual info on the term. And my dad, the greedy framer, says, no, that's not true. And my dad, the greedy framer, basically stops him, and he just goes back to giving his sermon, which was to basically, he said it straight out. Everyone should go and mass murder innocent human beings. And the way, obviously, the way they would do this is by joining terror groups. And my dad, the greedy framer, was doing this. Now, the government informant might try to downplay this a little bit, but you don't have to look at what he says now. You have to look at what he said then in 2011. And basic questions have to be asked. Like, if it was nothing going on, why were you sent there in the first place? And the other thing is, when my dad, the greedy framer, was giving this sermon on jihad, what did you say? Did you not say that the concept of jihad has been changed from how it's supposed to be? Did you say this? If the government informant says that he said this, then it is a fact that my dad, the greedy framer, was giving sermons on jihad. Obviously, and that is why he was sent in. Now, after the government informant said this, what did my dad, the greedy framer, say? He said, no, what you're saying is not right. And then he goes back to continuing that sermon and saying that mass murder basically should continue, jihad should continue, as in people should go join terror groups and commit mass murder and kill all these innocent human beings and fight these different countries and stuff like that. That is what my dad, the greedy framer, was saying. Now, he might try to downplay this and be like, jihad could be different. It could be like you're fighting against yourself. That's not what he was saying. That is not what he was saying in 2011. And if he was telling people to fight against themselves and their personal desires to not commit sin and that kind of jihad, the government informant would not be sent there in the first place. And trust me, the words surrounding that word jihad, the entire sentence would have been totally different. And the entire sentence, even after the government informant interrupted him and tried to change his words, he stops the government informant and says, no, 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 no. Let me tell you. And he thinks he knows everything. And he continued his sermon, basically telling people that they should commit mass murder, basically saying that jihad, you have to join it and commit mass murder and do these things. So that is what was going on in 2011. And so, yeah.